We are live.
I'll give
Be
it
quiet.
a few seconds. Sorry, guys.
Public.
Oh yeah, everyone's.
Is everybody public?
Yeah, public this time.
I'm not going live. Oh, here we go. Starting. We are up.
We already?
We're live,
a couple of
yeah.
minutes, just anybody to join? Or?
Yeah, say that for a couple of
Yeah. We'll just give it a couple of minutes, guys. Wait for a few to join and then we'll get started. No problem. No problem.
Usually it takes about 60 seconds. I mean, I've just been notified from you, Gareth.
Yeah, I've just had a notification as well.
I'm on your channel, Kevin. I can't see that you're live. I'm lying to you.
Live.
Episode 6.
Episode 6 now.
Can we give it the old
Forget
stretch?
about
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's
We
good
good?
to go.
Hi guys, welcome to our mastermind. This week we're going to be talking all things from 2018, so Amazon. We're going to be talking about personal goals, objectives, and areas we want to look into. Myself, I'm Izaak from the Success Creation team. That's our YouTube handle. You can find us on Instagram at Amazon Success Creation for a lot of behind the scenes content. I'm joined by Brandon, Kev and Gareth. If you just want to introduce yourself.
Hi guys, I'm Brandon, and you can catch me all the same places as you can catch Izaak here. We're both from the Amazon Success Creation team. So like I said, on YouTube at the Success Creation team, or on Instagram at Amazon Success Creation. I'll pass you on to Kev.
Yeah, I'm Kev, Life Success Engineer. That's my brand. You can find me on YouTube and my blog, lifesuccessengineer.com, as well as Instagram. So I talk all about all areas of life, not just Amazon, but I'm excited to talk this week about the importance of multiple streams of income and 2018. I'll pass you over to Gareth in his amazing top.
Hi guys, I'm Gareth from Fueled by Success. Again, like these guys, you can find me on Facebook, YouTube, and also on Instagram, where I'm quite active. Looking forward to today's session. Get involved. If you've got any comments or questions, please give us a bit of a shout out. You've got 3 multiple streams going at the moment, or maybe 2 at the moment. Two at the moment. So please get involved. I'll pass you back over. Let's. How's things gone this week?
Yeah, it's been a good week for us so far. Just starting now to I think this is where the topic for today's kind of came from. I think starting to now think about, I know we've still got a portion of this year to go, but starting to think about what we want out of 2018 and starting that really early planning stage for where we want to be next year. I know we've all got a lot to say on 2018, so...
Yeah. First of all, for those guys that are going to be catching this up, I do apologise. This is a Tuesday. We usually do it on a Thursday. I'm going to be jetting off to Rome on Friday, so really looking forward to that. I can't wait to go see the Colosseum and things. So I do apologise. That's why it's sort of that's why we are spontaneously coming on a Tuesday. So we didn't want to miss a week. But 2018, I'm really excited for 2018. Obviously, we still got a lot of Q4 left. We've only done 17 days of Q4, but I do believe that it's really important for all of us, knowing what's happening in Amazon this year with different restrictions and gating and all the rest of it. It's very important for us to now think about what we're doing in 2018. So yeah, it's very relevant now to get planning what we're going to be doing.
Yeah. We had a bit of a conversation today, didn't we? When we
came here.
We talked quite a lot about what we're doing right now, and is that what we'll be doing when we're close to achieving our big goals, or so when we're in the moment and we're, for example, at the warehouse, maybe today, we ended up labelling some of our private label products, and Brandon asked a question that I always ask you, don't I? He said, will you be doing this this time next year, or if your business was to grow, would this be what you'd be doing to make it grow? It was no. So then you start thinking about where you actually want to go in 2018, and for me a big one is 2018 is to travel while still growing business and still increasing my streams of income. that for me, I'd like to get into a few other areas, whether that be Shopify stores, launching new products, things like that, and maintain the Amazon OA business as that kind of, well, self-maintains, if you like, going into 2018, allowing me to kind of go maybe to Thailand, do you know what I mean, places like that, and start seeing the world.
That's exciting.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. It's like the online arbitrage. It's a great business model, and that's why we all started it. And it's once you do build your business up to the point where it does give you a little bit of free time, you can then start to use your spare time that you've just got back by hiring virtual assistants or using a prep service or something. You can then start to work on other streams of income. So, like you said. I know there's a lot of people interested in Shopify, and there's a lot of, you see it all the time on Facebook and Facebook ads, and I know something that I would like to look into in 2018 is dropshipping and Facebook ads, and really get to, I know there's a great guy, if anybody out there starts looking into Facebook ads now, there's a great guy that I recommend called Miles Beckler. He's definitely the guy to go to with Facebook ads, because his videos have been fantastic. That's just on a little bit of side note, by the way. So what are you going to be working on, Gareth?
I think for me, for 2018 is to get fully automated. Is my dream for 2018. I want to get to the point where the Amazon side of things is running itself. To a large extent, so I don't necessarily have to be in there, because I want to start looking a lot more into this side of things, the vlogging, YouTube, all that type of thing. But I think also it's looking into, like you guys have already mentioned already, but it's similar paths really. But it's I've looked into Shopify a little bit previously, and that was something I was very interested in doing as well. I've looked in. There's lots of little apps on there that you can help, and quite a few people get in touch with me via Instagram asking whether it's like Amazon or eBay or like Shopify that you're doing, if you like. So I think that's definitely an avenue to explore as well. But mainly for me, like, not to spin too many plates, is fully automated, and also to get much more involved in this side of things. Yeah, exactly.
Where are you at?
Similar to everyone else, obviously, I have the FBA side, more automated. I don't really know what I want to do next year fully. I know that I want to expand into other areas, but I think it'd be good, to be fair, at the start of next year, just to spend some time, like a week or so, just go somewhere for a week, shut the phone off, laptop, and actually just think about what I want to do next year, because I don't really know fully, so I don't want to go diving into anything that I don't really understand, or whether I know what's actually what I want to do. So it'd be good to get away for some time and actually think about it. I know that, like I say, I want to have this self-running, because you can do that with FBA easily. So it'd be good to have that kind of maintaining itself, and then actually think about what areas I want to explore into. Travel a little bit, like you say, but in terms of business and where I want to be, I think I need to actually go somewhere and think.
Yeah, I think it's good that, I think, because no matter when people are like, oh, I know what I want to do in 2018, I think everybody's always got that element of still a bit of uncertainty regarding it a lot of the time. So I think it's good that, do you know what I mean, you've said that that's like where you're at, and I think to go away somewhere in like early January and just sit by yourself with a pen and a notepad or whatever and just start designing your year, that would be a really good exercise, I think. For sure.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. I do think that you've got to have a bigger vision of what you want to, how you want to create your life. And I think for anybody that's watching this now, that are interested in Amazon and internet-based businesses, that you can set up to give you that cash flow to invest into other things. It's however you want to live your lifestyle. I mean, if you want to go, you guys are going to go out and travel. Yeah, I should definitely recommend it. It would be great. It's something that me and Kylie would like to do, is go see different parts of the world. We've been very fortunate this year to see Paris, Mallorca, and now Rome, which is going to be great. But I do. It'd be interesting to think what's going to happen with Amazon in 2018.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I mean, 2017, Amazon, they've grown massively already. From what I'm hearing, there's a lot more happening in the US, and the sort of speculation is once something happens in the US, it then takes a little bit of time, delay to filter into the UK. And I know this year there's been a number of restrictions and gating. So who knows what's going to happen what do you think is going to happen in 2018 with Amazon and online arbitrage?
My view is that, judging by what I've seen, this is purely on what I've seen. I don't have an inside ear at Amazon or anything like that, but I believe that Amazon are going to continue making it that little bit harder for sellers to actually sell the popular items and things like that, because I think that's something that they're doing now as we speak. Do you know what I mean? From when we started to now, for example, we just got our second seller account, and when you're going through on there to see, if you just took a sample of the products that we get delivered to the warehouse for our first Amazon account and had a look over them, you'd find that 9 out of 10 you're having issues, restrictions and things like that. Because we're already going, that's not a problem because we can get invoices and stuff. But for new sellers, it's a hurdle. It's not something that's going to stop you in your tracks, but it's definitely a hurdle to overcome. So I think there'll be more of that. I think brands will start, as Amazon gains gravity and more traffic on the website, I think brands will start wanting to, because you can see the new feature on Amazon now to have your own store on Amazon. I think a lot more brands are going to do that, which will then presumably inhibit other people from selling their brand. So I think that'll happen on a relatively scaled level next year, I think.
I think like arbitrage in itself, if you think of just the basic model of sourcing something for lower and then selling it higher, I think it's always going to be there. I mean, it's always going to be there. I mean, like you can still do on eBay if you wanted to. The reason why we've obviously chosen Amazon is because of fulfillment by Amazon, and they're going to fulfill all your orders. Which is perfect for us. Obviously, they changed the game in terms of selling products. I do agree. I think it's got a lot. I remember in 2015. For myself back then, trying to get ungated, and I would recommend anybody that is in Amazon right now thinking of 2018, and especially the drop from Q4 to Q1, you want to try your best to ungate yourself in as many categories as possible to give yourself that opportunity to expand as much as possible.
Which
because
we can personally vouch for that. In last year we thought, we'll get Q4 out of the way, and a lot of people say this, so I'm thinking I'll get Q4 out of the way and then start getting ungated. That is the wrong
exactly.
idea.
Definitely.
You need to do it now, because then in January last year we just couldn't sell anything. Like we went from 20k in sales, and that was when we ideally wanted to. The first goal was to get Brandon out of your job, wasn't it, in January, February time? And because of the dip in sales in January and February, we decided to hold off a little bit, because our sales went from 20k to 7k, which is a big, in terms of profit and everything, that's a big drop. And that was because we were solely in toys.
Exactly. So are you ungated with anything now? Everything?
Yeah, I think most things now. Yeah, I think like you was talking about earlier, I think brand restrictions I think are coming in definitely, because like on the actual individual brands as well, and not as an overall. More and more now, it's even now on my site essential, it's a case of like you're clicking through something, you might have already been selling something for quite a while, and then it pops up, and then a certain brand will say you need to ungate this now, and then sometimes it's just a case of like clicking through and it'll automatically ungate itself, which is brilliant based on your seller performance and all the rest of it. So I think that's definitely something that's for 2018, I agree, is going to come in.
Just take the action now, guys. Like if you're watching, just take the action now, and if there's something that you can get ungated for, just do it. Even if if you think it's something relatively micro now, for example, if you want to sell Costa mugs and it said, I didn't realise there was anything in that, and it said restricted, but you could easily get approved, then just get approved now, because we don't know, once you've got that approval, you're not going to lose the approval.
No.
So as it gets potentially harder and harder next year, there might not be an option to get
approved. In terms of the different categories, obviously everybody starts with toys and games and health and personal care and beauty and groceries. But there's categories that I've not even looked at before, such as books.
Yeah,
you know, I've never sold any books.
Yeah, you look
ever.
at resells in America, and he's doing crazy numbers of books.
I think so it's a good thing to do. It's a good thing to think about what categories you are selling. It's something that I'll probably talk about with my team and go, how can we start sourcing books and where would we source books from? Because the idea that cliff of Q4 is substantial. You know, gets to
whatever scale you're on, even if you're
any business,
$1 million a month, there's gonna be a job. I mean, Currys and Toys R Us and everybody in January. January's not a nice month. I remember getting my hours cut from like 45 hours a week to 12 in January.
Exactly. So our goal is, it has to be to try making every quarter Q4. So like Q1, just everybody starts going on their health and fitness. So is there anything that you can do there? I don't know. You guys are launching supplement brands and things, it's something for you to think about.
I think it's also like we've talked about, like newbies getting ungated and things like that, but I think it's also for like people who are a bit more established. Like we've talked about brand restrictions coming in and things like that. Right now it seems to be a case of you can go through these brands relatively easily and get ungated on them,
providing you sell the metrics are all
exactly, that's it. Whereas like and like you've mentioned, I've noticed myself when you're watching some of the other people on like YouTube or Instagram, etc., that are sellers in America, you can see definitely there that a lot of places are getting, or a lot of brands are getting gated, and they're saying straight away, you use these ASINs, you can get ungated quite quickly. But bigger name brands, footwear brands, all that type of thing, Nike, etc., they all seem to be doing it over there as well. So I think it's even something that potentially we should look into now, to get ungating as many different things. And there seems to be new little subcategories popping up, I've noticed as well.
There is.
Like kids furniture and things like this as an example, which has been I've found the other day, which was quite a good one to get into because there's not many in there at the moment. Now there will be now.
Absolutely, and I think this is where the whole private label golden gaps, where we're just launching products, this is where it's going to really be beneficial for us to have those listings of our own.
Yeah, we only started that like a month ago, and we've got like 11 on trial at the minute, because we literally just, that's one of the main things on my agenda all the time now, to just find new products. And it's a good like way to test it through going through like wholesalers and things like that in the UK. If you know you've got a good one, that you can find relatively decent items at niche, do you know what I mean? And then you know that one thing I always do when I'm looking is I'll check that you can get it from China, do you know what I mean? So readily available, because otherwise you don't want the headache of not being able to source it. But yeah, for sure, because there's so many items that people will purchase all year. There's so many items that people will purchase ideally in the first 3 months of the year and not the last 3 months. So then you would just have a seasonal inventory that consistently, and you plan for it, and it consistently just flows all the time.
Well, this is it. If you could launch products that are popular in Q1, so you sort of health and fitness, whether that is, I don't know, you find a gap in the market for any sort of health and fitness equipment, then you think of summer, or you've got Easter, you've got Valentine's Day, you've got in the summer people love to get out into the gardens. Can you launch any products that people use out in gardening, for gardening equipment and things? There's a lot of opportunity still.
Sure.
It's what shops do, isn't it? I mean, their sales will go down, but there's always seasonal areas, and so they're doing it all. They'll tailor it to what people want.
I found a great gardening little area in terms of this year. Like, it's not something I really looked into as much in the previous years, but then, like you've just mentioned, when it comes seasonal and things like that, you maybe start to think a little bit ahead, if you like. And me personally, I found some great things like lawn seed, things like that as an example, which never really looked into before. But like that was amazing.
So I think that should be our theme for 2018: making every quarter Q4. It doesn't matter what season it is,
because you can.
Of course you can.
It's very achievable.
Of course you can, especially once you start. It'd be interesting to know which other business model you guys are going to look into in 2018 away from Amazon.
I've kind of like really early stages started making product inquiries and stuff like last week, like when I was just on a 2-hour break from university. I've kind of always had something in my head, and then it just advances. But I'm quite looking forward to 2018. Quite looking forward to it.
So what is the what's the one business model you're looking to away from Amazon? Because obviously Amazon, the one thing I don't like is you've got that single point of failure. You know, Amazon, if they take your seller account away, you're gone.
Yeah.
You know, that's it. Obviously you do everything you possibly can to prevent that from happening, but something that we need to do is get that time back to focus on something else. So what are you guys going to be focusing on away from Amazon?
I think from my point of view, it's going to be a case of like the personal branding is definitely something that I'm already on with, but it's also going to be looking into other aspects. Like I've got the website now, which I've been working on, but I want like the shop version on there. So you can sell on Amazon, but then I also noticed on Amazon now you can even fulfill through Amazon by putting in an address that you've self-sold from, and Amazon will deliver it for you. So even if you was to use it in that, you know, if you've got stock in FBA, let's say, but then let's say you've got a website open as well, or you know, even selling through Facebook, I think is another one I'm going to be looking into quite a lot more, because that seems to be on the rise now as well, massively. Yeah. And if you link that in with your shop, but then I noticed the other day, I was having a little play around with Seller Central. I mean, everybody might have come across it a long time before me, but it's that little option there to be able to just put in an address, say this item's already been sold, and then Amazon will just ship that to them, still in that box and all the rest of it for you, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's good, that, because then if you then can drive traffic to your own site that you control, that would be that's good, that, because then that wouldn't be fully in your control then, isn't it?
Exactly, that's it. So even if you've got a sale come through, let's say you can get a storefront now on Facebook, let's say, or like we've talked about Shopify. That's another one I'm going to be looking into big time for next year. I looked at T-shirts and things like that. There's apps on Shopify which people probably well know about, and I looked into that quite a lot last year. I think discussions with you about it, and even on there, like the drop shipping side of things, they will make you can have a place on Shopify, you can download an app, they will make the t-shirts for you, all the rest of it, and they'll only charge you for those t-shirts when you sell it. A bit like Merch by Amazon, obviously.
A bit like Merch by Amazon,
just another platform, so it's again moving away from Amazon in that context. But then like with the Facebook and all the rest of it and the website, I'm thinking that you could still utilise, we've talked about how great FBA is in terms of you not necessarily having to box it, ship it, or the rest of it, to tie it in a little bit, but then also to be able to self-fulfill. That's what I'm going to be looking into a little bit more as well for next year.
If you've got the systems for it and stuff, then there's nothing. It is great. It's a great model to start with, having your orders fulfilled by somebody else, or even when you're 10 years down the line. It just depends on what you want to do. But obviously, when you've built your warehouse to a structure where you know that you can get items in and your team know what to do to get items out, then there's nothing stopping you fulfilling your own orders of your own product if that's what you wanted to do. For example, if Brandon launched a product and decided that he wanted it to be shipped from our warehouse, then it's just another process that you embed into your team that they can do.
Exactly. It's same, that opens you up to hazardous materials. It's something that I looked into. It's something that I thought about with here in the warehouse, and you've got to really have those systems in place to obviously then ship it out from here.
What you don't want to do is dilute the system you've got in the minute and cause problems in the system you've got in the minute to launch something else, because then you're spinning plates.
So I think that is definitely a good takeaway. Like you've got to decide what you're focusing on. So we all focused on like Amazon online arbitrage first, and it's so important that you get that right first, and you don't try to spin too many plates, like you say. Otherwise, you fall down.
We tried to grow wholesale, the wholesale side of things, but when we was trying to do online arbitrage and trying to do wholesale, and because you're spending money on online arbitrage, you don't have the full amount of capital to go into wholesale. Like we spoke about in other ones, wholesale's a real money game, and if you don't have the capital, that's going to cause you a problem. So we did that. Do you know what I mean? Spinning plates, and one of the OA systems suffered because of it. Do you know what I mean? And that obviously causes an impact on your overall sales over a period. Do you know what I mean? So
that's it. I think it's definitely something to look into. It's quite blasé at the moment about which way you're drilling into. But funnily enough, coming onto this conversation, I actually looked into Facebook quite a lot today, with a bit of my downtime that I had, and it was a case of I've been looking into what I'm going to do with things like, you know, you get all the returns from Amazon. Sometimes it might just be like a crumpled box, but the actual product inside is perfect. So I was looking into how I'm going to best utilise those type of products, if you like, so which are still new products, but just the box has been a little bit battered or whatever. And I was looking into Facebook, selling quite a lot today.
You could start, you could start your own group.
I am.
Today. You could, in your own town, because there's always, wherever you live, there's always like stuff for sale in whatever town you're in, and then you could just like, you could call it Gareth's store or something. Do you know what I mean?
You've got the old people making their own like arbitrage and buying it from you and selling it to Linda from up the road. Do you know what I mean? For £5, then.
But
everything helps, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because I mean I went on our unfulfillable inventory today, and I'll be honest, we had 3 pages of inventory that was unfulfillable because it's not been done for a bit. So that when that comes back, like in terms of the buying price and stuff, it'll be money's worth of stuff. Do you know what I mean? So if we could find some way we could potentially siphon that off to somebody, ideally just somebody pick it up and take the lot. Do you know what I mean?
But these are options though, isn't it? You can bundle things together then as well. I mean, we're in Q4, we're coming up to Christmas. I thought, what better way than to potentially utilise this time of year especially for things like that, you know. If you can create little mini bundles where it's maybe got a couple of toys in there, but it's, you know,
you can do hampers, couldn't you?
Exactly, this is what I'm saying. Yeah.
We spoke about that.
So these are the little nuggets I was looking into today, and that's hence what, you know, going forward, that might, you know, manifest into something much bigger to sell on Facebook.
That's definitely something I want to talk about with Kylie and Amber and my sister, because that's great. Because I mean, like you said, at Christmas time, if you've got all these, they're not damaged products, but you bundle them all together, put them on Facebook, you could sell them for 30, 40 quid, whatever.
Exactly, yeah. And something back that you wouldn't have had.
Exactly.
We also spoke as well today. It was like, well, all this stuff's just sat there. Like, there's some, I don't know, baby milk or whatever, just in the warehouse that's in our clearance bay. And you've sat there thinking, there's so many people, like, this is just sat there, and if it disappeared tomorrow, it's not like a massive blow to our finances or anything like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I thought potentially, I mean, there's people out there that have got just had a child or whatever and might struggle to afford baby milk and things like that. So it'd be nice to, with some of it or all of it, like make hampers and then just go donate a few away.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
That's like a feel-good thing, and it's.
Well, that's another option, isn't it? When you know, you've got those bits that you can sell and all the rest of it, but then you could potentially. And then another great thing about the Facebook, even selling through, and I mean, there's others out there obviously you can utilise, but the other great thing about that is you could do giveaway
competitions,
like that, charity giveaway, whatever it may be, and then you know, you could some of that utilisation then you could then put to other options as well. So.
Just got a quick question here from Atelier. It says, are you guys using Feedback Express or any automated feedback software that asks customers to submit feedback? I used one for 3 days and stopped as I got 2 negative feedbacks from people who
That's it,
I assume
who got the messages.
Yeah, got the messages. I did use it. I used it for Repricer Express. They gave me just a quick trial period because they do, and to tell you the truth, I think it's great. I do think it's great, but at the same time, I did think if it's asking customers for feedback, whereas sometimes maybe you wouldn't. Cause I know I've purchased a lot from Amazon, and I don't give feedback that often, and I think if I got a message after the message saying give me feedback, I don't know, if there's something wrong, I would probably give it a negative, more likely to. So I don't know. Have you guys looked at anything?
We've got the
like
trial, never actually used it. We just saw the email.
We've got it on our second account just for private label stuff to try and get some product reviews.
Actually,
but nothing's gone live yet, so I can't comment.
Yeah, I think for online arbitrage, I do think for in terms of you'll get organic seller feedback, and then for the product feedback, it don't really matter.
I personally think like people put too much thought into their seller feedback. Personally, like I obviously remove bad ones and stuff like that, but I see people all the time like, oh, I want this to get to 100 feedbacks or whatever. I think people give it more credit than it's worth, to be honest.
Yeah, it's something you need to monitor, but you don't need to.
You don't need to like it's not your be all and end all. Do you know what I mean? There's plenty more metrics to master.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I looked into it myself as well. Like you guys have mentioned, the main thing that put me off about not signing up to it was that very reason that you've just mentioned. You know, the negative feedback. Because if you're asking, I used to do door to door back in the day, and you know, you can knock 100 doors, but you're always, you know, you get a few shut in your face, and those negatives can sometimes be a lot harder to get rid of than what the good feedback you might gain from that. So for me, like you've just mentioned, I prefer to grow mine organically, and then if you do come across a negative feedback, then you've got, I found personally, you've got more chance to deal with that, because you're not throwing it in somebody, like you've just mentioned. I think if somebody's upset but maybe wasn't going to send a feedback, then all of a sudden you've got something coming in your face and saying, "Hi, how was your experience?"
Which I think is what he's experienced. Yeah. So
I think it's
sometimes you're also prompting people that have had bad experiences.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I think they're great tools to utilise, but personally that's one that I've kept away from.
Yeah.
So going back onto like the 2018 and revenue streams and stuff, what's everybody's feeling towards like in terms of where they see their personal growth? Do you know what I mean, like revenue streams wise? So not your business unit at the minute in terms of your something else.
Well, for me, one of the things I've always said, I think this was one of the, when it came to quitting my job to go into selling on Amazon, one of the major negatives were, well, what if Amazon one day removes your account, as we all know. So that being said, I've always thought in my mind, could I build something that I have full control over? And that's why I started the blog. I like to start the lifesuccessengineer.com blog, because it's just my own little passion. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's a website that I'm sharing the things that I learn, experience, my thoughts, my progress. And what I really like about starting your own website is, over a long period of time, you control the growth. You control that growth. So in 2018, I fully continue. I'm going to continue doing YouTube. I'm going to continue, documenting my journey, what I'm working on. And I'm really into like personal development, as you guys know, and it's a thought of mine that I would really like to. I definitely want to help more people with taking action, and because I like to study sort of productivity and things, and how some people can take more action than others, and the thought behind sort of motivation and what drives people. That really inspires me. So
just from like speaking to, it'd be great to see like some courses like away from do you know what I mean, the online arbitrage side of things. It'd be good to see some personal development ones.
Exactly,
going into next year, because I think in terms of, I know you quite well and stuff, I know that you've got that in you to provide the good value through something like that, so it'd be good to see.
So that's definitely something that I continue. That's my long-term vision, just to continue growing this brand. But I also, next year, what I really want to do is I wanted to have a look at dropshipping, because I've not got any experience with dropshipping myself. Because Facebook ads, you can target, like Facebook ads, what they've done, or what Facebook have done, that you could target anybody in the world for whatever sort of hobby that they've got. You could, like we mentioned, they could launch any product and target those specific people. So it's definitely a business model I think I'm going to look into next year. So those two mainly.
You say did you say from a personal point of view, for like what you're looking to do and things?
And like new businesses for you.
Yeah, I mean, well, like we've talked about previously, I think obviously, the Facebook or the Shopify is something that I'll be definitely looking into. I think I've been working on for quite some time, as Kev will know, which is keeps getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back, because again, the spinning plates and everything else, but I've been writing a book for quite some time, and that's something that I've got quite passionate about. So I think that's be something for 2018 that's definitely going to be launched.
Can you give us a bit of a sneak peek? What's the book going to be about? A bit of a preview.
An exclusive to the mastermind.
Is this an exclusive, Gareth?
Yeah, a bit of an exclusive. But
LifeSuccessEngineer.com.
It's completely different to what you know, we're doing, if you like, but it's food basically. I mean, for me, it's
a good topic.
Yeah, and you know, I'm not. It's not necessarily going to be one of these healthy books which everybody keeps bringing out every now and then again, which are great, by the way. Don't get me wrong, but it's mine's going to be a little bit more homely. So it's I think the title along the lines of is going to be what Mum cooked for me, and it's going to be a bit of a backdrop on the stories. It's just a little bit about different food that she cooked throughout, you know, my life, if you like, growing up, but it's the stories behind those foods, like an insight, if you like, is Friday night chicken wings, and they used to always make Friday night chicken wings, which were brilliant, spicy chicken wings, but they're like, you know, that was a time when I was growing up with my sister and all the rest of it. We would get together on a Friday night, she would be cooking these Friday chicken wings, and we'd all get together, have these and watch a film and all the rest of it. But there'll be little background stories to the food.
The book.
Yeah. There'll be a little bit of background story to the. It's not just going to be all food. There'll be a little bit of backstory to it, and you know, to me growing up basically. But more, you know, we'll have the great things in there as well.
But that's great though, because you could Instagram it, you could do you could cook it, you could end up with you could be the next Joe Wicks.
If you ever do get a chance to end up buying my book, look out for the chili con carne. I'm going to tell you now, it'll be the best chili con carne you've ever had.
You just wink at the camera.
But that's something I'm just completely random and different to what we've all been doing. But it's something I have, well, as you know, I've been working on it for quite some time. But as anything, other things start to take over, and it's like we've talked about. We keep saying it, but the spinning plate syndrome is you start doing too many things and things start to wobble. Is what we mean by the spinning plates. But it's so I've been very cautious not to let one wobble at the moment. So it's been focusing. But that's definitely going to be out for 2018, exclusive.
Yeah. For me, I don't know if, because obviously what we're doing at the minute is very sort of physical product driven, so I don't know if next year would be a good time to come away from that side. I like the idea of having something that's not about a physical product and have something, whether that be like software, like a course, or even just blogging and vlogging. I like the idea of actually you being the brand, if you like. So it's not about trying to compete on. So like when you sell on Amazon, you're competing on price and different variations of the same products. I like the idea of it being not about an actual product, and it is just sort of, like say, whether it be software or a course or something that's not about. It wouldn't be as hard, if you like. I don't know. It depends how good you're at it. But I was gonna say it wouldn't be as hard to promote and get that product up there and ranked or whatever. Whereas if it's not about products, I think it'd be a lot more, maybe interesting as well. I suppose
you're a bit more passionate. You're a bit more passionate about.
Yeah, I suppose it depends on personal circumstances, like what everyone prefers. But I think it might be a little bit more interesting as well. Not that there's anything wrong with selling, because that might be something that I'll come back to. But I don't know if next year, because we're dealing with physical products in a lot of the minute, whether it'd be good to come away from that and
provide a service or something like that.
Yeah, something that's not about handling goods and.
Because I do think there's always, like Gareth just mentioned, is a great example. There's always that one thing that you've always wanted to do, but for life gets in the way, doesn't it? So you know, it always gets pushed in the back burner. So I think it would be great for you to do that, to achieve that one thing. I'm going to do this because it's something you're passionate about. Absolutely.
When you've had that thing in your head forever. Do it.
For me, the idea, where that idea came from, was my mum loves cooking. So like anybody who knows my mum absolutely loves cooking, and I think that if she'd had a chance to go backwards a little bit, she might have gone down that road instead, and you know, done cooking, you know, chef whatever instead, because she loves it. But like her. You know, we all love our own mum's cooking, don't get me wrong, but I think she's got a talent for it. So for me, it was like, I think it's something that she would have liked to have done, but not really ever had the chance, or can't really think about how she would like to put it together. So the idea was that I'm going to work with her to get some of her best recipes that she's adapted and, you know, come across over time, and things like this, like and it's bringing in things that make it personal, and that's where the story bits come from. Like I was born in South Africa, so things like baboti as an example, which not everybody eats as an example, but you know, they're little things like that, which comfort food is great. But it's you know, these are the little bits that come in. But that's where that come from really. Is I've taken her idea that's something that she really wanted to do, but maybe for whatever reason hasn't done it, made the book, you know, opened a restaurant, a cafe, whatever. So I'm jumping on that and like helping her dream.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And the thing I like about when you start to pursue like a passion project is like it's like in alignment with what you actually like to, whatever your vision for your life is. Like if you talking about if let's say you write this book and it becomes super successful when it does, and it's a bestseller on Amazon Kindle, you know, and then it opens up your doors to go to South Africa and things. Can you imagine you and your mum going there and cooking the recipe? You know, that's not work, is it?
No,
that's not work. That would be something that you're getting paid to do. Yeah. And that's living the dream. That is literally living the dream. So I think for anybody out there, it would be, especially when you start thinking it's a new year, 2018. I think everybody needs to have not just those goals that are like, oh, this year I'm going to start the gym, or this year I'm going to look after my health, or in terms of like stopping smoking or something. I think everybody should be like, what do I want to do longer term? Whether it's like become a writer, an author, or become something, a travel vlogger or whatever, and then just get going. Even if it's just going, even if you want to be a travel vlogger and you want to go to the best places in the world, and maybe you can't do that right now because of finances, get traveling around where you currently are and start
when
practicing.
Somebody decides to pay you to go to that
and then start practicing the skill of videoing and things like that. Because then when you do go to Rome and Paris, then you've got your skill.
I guarantee there'll be places near where anybody lives that was watching. Say if they wanted to be a travel vlogger, there'll be places near wherever they lived. Everybody's got something near them. You know what I mean? Whether that's Highlands, a cathedral, you know, I don't anything like a castle, whatever. You could go around and you could make that blog for 20 quid as opposed to thinking you've got to spend $5,000 and go stay in a luxury resort in the Maldives. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to. Everybody's got a day one. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what Gary Vaynerchuk always says, isn't it? You know, that's why like YouTube's great, because it allows you to reach, you know, hundreds and thousands of people around the world. So if you've got passions for, you know, health and beauty or photography or whatever, just get talking about it and just build it on the side.
The thing that I keep getting asked about, and it's something that maybe we need to revisit back in the day, is the top brand that we was looking at. That's something I get asked about constantly from people that knew we was doing it. You know, that's again something that's took a bit of a back burner, but it's maybe something that could be, now we've both got capital, it's maybe something we can reinvest in again.
I think we ought to definitely talk about it, because it's one of those it's one of those things that I've always wanted to do.
Yeah, that's the same. Yeah, that was the that's what one of the dreams which got us into where we're at now.
Exactly.
That was the first sort of like
entrepreneurship journey.
Exactly.
So we may be coming in 2018. Yes. We'll keep that secret for now. But there's just another second question. Why do you have separate accounts for private label products? Do you all have second accounts for private label products?
We got ours just to keep things separate. So then if anything from the online arbitrage side of things can't affect the private label side of things, and vice versa. And also then you've got two accounts where it's just separate, so you know exactly, it's not as scrolling through when you've got 1,000 lines. We don't at the minute, but if we had 1,000 OA lines, if we could scroll through and see, do you know what I mean? It's just a nice. I just like the idea of having both of the things separate.
It's sort of smaller scale multiple streams already, because it is still through Amazon. But say if something happened to your main account, and then it's not just affecting your selling ability; it's your brand as well. Say if your account got shut down and you're the only person that sells your private label products, all of a sudden your product's not available. So then it's not just your seller account that's being affected; it's your brand. If you're selling your brand through that main account, so it's kind of protecting it more.
I think you just hit the nail on the head. I think the reason for me was exactly the same. You separating it again, you could class it as multiple streams of income because you've got 2 separate accounts.
It is,
exactly that. You've got layers of protection if one of your accounts, if you could get your online arbitrage business to 50,000 a month, and if you could get your private label to 50,000 a month, you've got a good business there. And obviously, you would take a hit if one of them was to go, but you're not taking one massive hit.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? So it's just risk, really. But it is a bit of a funny process to open. That first of all, you've got to make sure that you got approval from Amazon to open a second account. Don't ever just open one, that second one, without prior approval, because you'll be going directly against their terms of condition, the policies. So don't risk your accounts already. You've got to just make sure that Amazon give you written evidence to make sure that you've got a backup if something ever happens in the future.
It's just a case of making a case and messaging Amazon, asking for permission. They'll tell you what questions you need to answer the questions, provide any evidence they want, and you're away.
Yeah. No, basically same reasons.
Got another one from Richard. Thanks for joining us, Richard. He says, "Hi guys, when should you try to get ungated? I'm 2 months into selling toys and media at the minute."
We covered that, didn't we, earlier in the video? But I think the resounding answer was
straight away, as soon as you can.
Richard, because we was a prime example last Q4. We didn't do it. Well, we registered. About similar time scale to you, it seems, and we was very quiet in January because we was only selling in the toy category. We should have done that when we started.
You've got that turnover now through Q4. Well, I say turnover, but what I mean is you're selling more things. So even if you're just starting, you maybe haven't got that bigger turnover behind you right now. You'll sell more items in this time of the year. So, like you've mentioned, it's the prime time to get other items in to ungate those areas so that you can obviously sell them items through again. Some items you might buy, not necessarily because they're always winners, but just to get you ungated into an area, but then you'll be able to sell through those items much easier at this time of the year as well. I mean, obviously try and make them all winners, but I know from experience in my side of things, there was 1 or 2 items that I purchased and I was sometimes only just making back what I was getting, but if those items got me in, that opened up a whole new world of selling capabilities, so I was prepared to take that risk.
Yeah, so I hope that answers your question, Richard. Thank you very much. It's just you've got to go as wide as possible. So even for myself, I mentioned earlier in this stream, I don't sell books right now. It's something that I'll probably have a conversation with to see how I get to sell books.
Textbooks seem to be good.
Because I mean that's going to be there's people doing a lot of money with books, so that could potentially open you up to new revenue if I could get the systems up and running. So absolutely try getting ungated as quick as possible.
Definitely, for sure.
If there's any more questions, feel free to use the chat.
I mean, going back to like what we said we wanted to do 2018, I think it's quite interesting to like what you said at the start of the video when you said about spending some time away from everything, away from home, away from the warehouse, away from your phone, even your laptop, and just channeling and focusing. I think, to be fair, I might do that myself. Do you know what I mean?
Without any sort of influencing your decisions, you can just sort of like shut everything out and then just actually get some clarity.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean Kylie, she's on the chat here. She says that this is what I need to do. Get looking at what she wants to do. Because I think it's I think everybody has that question, don't they? Well, what is it? Because I think you're so bombarded with opportunity. That's where the whole sort of shiny object syndrome came from.
Yeah.
I think it's just a case of spending some time. Just you guys mentioned maybe going away somewhere, just some down period, and just thinking about what you want to do. Just thinking about what you see your life being. Hopefully it's with me, Kylie.
So you don't have to go away. Maybe just taking yourself away from your normal environment, just so you haven't got all the usual thoughts going through your head and usual. I don't know. People asking you questions coming to you just normal. Just
because as well, when you're in your everyday life, you do get surrounded by so much crap.
Yeah.
You get the questions and things thrown at you all the time that are not maybe relevant to if you're in your head and you're thinking about something long term, and then somebody comes up to you and asks, what do I do with this? Or what, do you know what I mean? It just throws you off that train of thought. So being able to go away from something to get clarity, I think that works.
Yeah, it's
On
like
a micro level, that's worked for me before. Just getting out of the business and going to the coffee shop.
yeah.
I can focus more on the business when I'm not in the business.
The best example of that was J.K. Rowling, the creator of Harry Potter. She, I believe, did she go to Dublin? I think she travelled to Dublin to be by herself, do some deep work, turn off, phone, laptops and things.
She used to go on trains as well, didn't she?
I think she ended up staying in a hotel which was directly outside some castle, and that is how she got the idea of Harry Potter, apparently. Whether that's true or not, or I've just made that up.
No, I think it is something along those lines. She stayed in a hotel that was, like, at the time, everybody far too ahead of her budget. I remember I've read it somewhere. And then she created something that's changed her life and everybody else that was involved with it.
Of course,
good for her.
A good exercise to do if you're never sure on what you want to do. A good exercise to do is a goal setting workshop. Just like Jim, if you YouTube Jim Rohn goal setting workshop, that is the first goal setting workshop that I went through. I actually did it with Kylie, this back in 2015, where we just spoke about what we wanted to do and where we wanted to go, what we wanted to experience. And just by having that sort of conversation with yourself, or just doing it yourself, or with your relatives or your family, you get to start brainstorming some stuff, like what you actually want to do, and then you can just start checking those things off.
Yeah, I agree. I think, like you say, in terms of actually getting it out of your head, notepad and paper or whatever is a great way of, like you say, getting it out of your head.
And I think this. Do you also have 2 limited companies for these 2 seller accounts, private label and online arbitrage? Do you have 2 companies?
No, we've got 2 bank accounts with the same bank. So we just gave our bank a call and just said, can we get a second bank account? Because you need that to register the second account. You can't have 2 seller accounts feeding into one bank. So you only need a separate bank account. You don't need a separate company unless you want to.
And then we'll just trademark the name as well of that brand for the private label, but we don't have a separate company for anything.
Yeah. Same here. It's you have to have 2 separate bank accounts, but not.
And an email address as well.
And an email address, yes. But not 2 separate companies, unless you wanted to.
I think some people do. I was talking to a chap on Instagram the other day, and he does. Separate. He's got separate businesses.
I suppose you can't. Depends how.
I think it's up to you and how you see you going with that product. Because, like you say, you could take that product and start selling it on a Shopify store through Facebook or whatever. So there's a lot.
I think as long as you've got that, like anything, you've usually got your overall umbrella, haven't you? Your company umbrella, and then under that you've got your shoots, if you like. So I think it's okay to feed under one still. In that sense, I did have one from a guy called Max Design, and he's asking what was your favourite, or what is your favourite sort of report to use on Amazon Seller Central? Is there a favourite sort of report that you tend to check a lot? Or
in terms of like favourite, I don't like wake up and think. I can't wait to look at this report this morning.
Or utilise more. Probably
detailed page sales by item or whatever it is, or acing or whatever, because I think that's a great way of breaking down, especially private label wise, how efficient your listings are, how many people are searching for an item, how many people are buying it. Those are interesting. It's always interesting to see the buy box percentage as well. So how, if you've got a really hot selling item, how much of the buy box are you getting? Just out of interest. Do you know what I mean? It's a good one to look at, I think.
Yeah, the reports I like to look at, there is the inventory in stock, because that's a powerful report to look at, because that's where you do your replenishing from, which your replenishing is super important if you want to grow your business. So that's a very good report. I would also, I've just done today, there's a report called Inventory Adjustments. Now this is a report that literally was worth a lot of money to me, and I'm sure it's going to be to everybody that is on Amazon. Basically what Inventory Adjustments is, it's Amazon because we ship all the products to Amazon, they do a lot of adjustments that we are not aware of, like from moving from different fulfillment centers, etc., etc. If you go to like the report section under fulfillment by Amazon, there's inventory adjustments. You download that, and what that's going to do is going to show all the products that have had some sort of adjustment, and some of them, I believe, the code is something like E and M. If you've got a load of products that are under E and M and it's got a minus number next to it, that's basically a product that Amazon have misplaced, and then they owe you money. So if you do that once a month or once every 3 months or something, you're going to get a lot of reimbursements. So that is
because you always get some of those when he comes through, don't you? But there's always some that slips.
Yeah. So like you've got your unfulfillable and things like that where you can claim back on. But like I say, there's always something. So you've got to.
Depending on your scale, depends on how much money that's worth. But it's still worth money. I remember when you did it in April, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was April the first time.
Yeah, like when it came about, wasn't it? Like it was, I remember the amount of money that you ended up getting. It was worth so much money.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So that is
an interesting.
Yeah. That's actually the one I was going to say as well, actually. But they're the two that I mainly use. Majority of the time as well, but it's that was the one that I was going to mention as well. That's a very good report because it makes you money as well. But it's
a lot of the time, like you just saying there, it's instant as well, isn't it? Like,
yeah, because they know they've lost it. It's like when you lose it in shipment, they know they've lost it, but they're holding off in case they find it. That's why when they reimburse you, they always say, we can't locate this item, but if we find it, obviously we'll put the item back in stock and we'll take the money back. So that's why they're not. It's not like they're trying to be dodgy and go, "Oh, we can get away with this. We've lost the item."
Yeah.
Like they're just chancing it on that they find the item soon.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, definitely. They're not like obviously not stealing anything from you, but you get those notifications, don't you? Where it's like reimbursement reversed because they found whatever the stock is. Because if you can imagine, they're dealing with a lot of products. I would love to go see. What they're...
I YouTube it sometimes and see like the robots moving around the floor and it's like...
It's crazy, isn't it?
Mad.
This is it.
So I think we've nearly been going on nearly an hour. Do you think we should nearly start to wrap up?
I think so,
Is there if there's any questions from anybody else that you want to quickly ask? How do you get the sales data onto a spreadsheet?
It depends what you mean.
There should be a download section. When you do go on the report, there should be a download, and then when you download that, it would come into. Most of the time, it's either a CSV or a text file. I don't know why they do sometimes text files, but like the inventory adjustment
is open with Excel, don't you?
Yeah, then you can just open with Excel or copy and paste it into Excel. That's how you would do it, because Excel is obviously from when your data is on there, you can manipulate that data and you can do different functions and different formulas. You can extract whatever information that you need. So I'll definitely look into doing that, Richard. Yes, I've got the text file. So what you'll do is right click it, open with Excel, or select all and paste it straight into an Excel form or a Google Sheet.
Yeah, well,
that's what I use.
So I think that's a good timing. It's 2 minutes, and then we've been an hour. So do you want to say bye?
So as always, guys, thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the content today, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel you're watching it on, and we do really appreciate it. We put a lot into our brands and providing value to you guys, so we really appreciate it. In terms of myself and Brandon, you can find us on Instagram under Amazon Success Creation. We're really lively on there. We're all day with the stories and whatnot, so you can get us on there as well. And also the YouTube through the Success Creation team. You boys?
Yeah, I'm Gareth, like we mentioned at the beginning. I'm from Fueled by Success, hence the t-shirt.
Nice t-shirt. Where can they get them from?
Coming very soon.
Yeah, coming soon.
But it's on Instagram, YouTube and Facebook. I'm on there as well by the same name, Fueled by Success. Quite active on the Instagram myself as well, so check me out.
Yeah, and thanks very much for those guys that have joined us this evening. If you could give us a thumbs up or share it with anybody that you think will find this beneficial. We really do appreciate your support. My name's Kev from LifeSuccessEngineer.com, YouTube. I'm on Snapchat as well as Instagram quite often now with the daily stories, because I love to see what you guys are doing. So yeah, if you're potentially interested in one day in the future meeting us guys live, go to lifesuccessengineer.com/events. You can just show your interest. We're thinking that potentially one day our sort of vision is we could do like a great big mastermind instead of us guys just sort of sat here talking to some cameras. You know, it'd be great to actually meet you face to face.
And could even do that one day soon. Like, that doesn't even need to be 2018. There's enough people out there. If you guys get on the link Kev's just said, then we could really get that.
Yeah, maybe send an email out to the people that are on there already and see who's interested.
Get a guest appearance on the show.
Well, as always, keep taking massive action. As I would say, that's my motto. Keep taking massive action, because you know it takes time to be successful, but you just got to keep taking that action and believing in the process. And I'm looking forward to going to Rome.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Thank you. I'll talk to you again soon.
And in one last little plug, I did an interview. We did an interview with the guys at the far side for the Success Creation team. If you are interested in watching that, that'll be going live on my YouTube site probably tomorrow afternoon, about 5 PM onwards. So if anybody would like to see the backstory a little bit to the Success Creation team, there was a good interview going on. Lasted about half an hour. So if you'd like to get a little bit more to know them guys, tune into that. Fueled by Success.
Bye guys.
Cheers guys. Catch you later.